Hey everyone, and welcome to today's construction update of the LAX APM Skylink line here on Tiger Railfan. We're going to get right into it and start at the LAX Terminal East station. There are 6 stations total, with 3 of them being within the LAX terminal area. You can see there are the 3, Terminal Center, East, and West. We're starting here at the Terminal East station. Upon first observations, you can see that there is now a Skylink vehicle parked here at the Terminal East station. This is unique and interesting because the vehicles have been moving around recently, but they haven't began official testing. For example, in the past construction update, we saw a set of 2 of these vehicles coupled together at the Terminal West station, which is right by the International Terminal. And now we have a singular train set out here, so it's interesting to see those movements. But now let's get into the station itself. First, we can see in the tiling and the roof, there is a lot more pieces missing, and that's because the company who's working on the station is likely waiting for custom parts that'll fit the ceiling perfectly. It's also worth noting that the stations are going to have a similar design in all of them. So we'll go more in depth into the station's design in just a second. But now let's look at the bridge's connection to the parking structure and to the airport terminals. You can see that they have an open air structure with only a glass window structure separating the top and the bottom. There's also a fence-like structure that prevents people from crawling out of the bottom. I'm personally opposed to this design, and it's definitely cost-cutting. But in the distance, we can actually see the next stop along the line, which is going to be the Central Terminal Station. That's where we'll be heading next. But first, let's take a look at the APM line itself. Also known as the Skylink line, this line will last around 2.3 miles, going from the Tom Bradley International Terminal eastbound to the consolidated rental car facility, with important stops at the LAX Economy parking lot and, of course, the LAX Metro Transit Center, which is going to provide rail access to the rest of the city. The project is going to eliminate bus shuttles, and in general, it's going to make it easier to travel throughout the LAX Airport area. The project is currently quite delayed though. The LAX Metro Transit Center, which has already been delayed by several months, is just about to open on June 6, 2025. If you want to see a video on that, make sure to check out the description down below for the most recent construction update. If you enjoy new construction update videos just like this one, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more, especially with all the new content that's coming to the channel, like a brand new live stream on June 6th for the opening of the LAX Metro Transit Center, in addition to several new cab ride videos and more. But now let's get back to the video and take a look at how the elevators are doing. Now at this station, there is no direct connection bridge to Terminal 1. Instead, you're going to have to exit through those elevators there, cross the parking structure, and head to the elevators just to our left-hand side. That'll take you down to the arrivals level to cross the street and ultimately enter the first terminal. You see this bridge right in front of here doesn't directly connect to the terminal, so you'll have to go downstairs and cross the street, unfortunately. But don't worry, there's tons of improvements coming for the other stations, including a direct connection to pretty much every other terminal. Here's a look at how it's only used as an emergency exit. It doesn't go directly into the terminal, it just goes downstairs and ends right where those walls are. But there's also another notable facility right here, which is the LA Exit Center, which is just below this Qantas A380 landing in from Australia. So let's get back to the LA Exit facility. This is currently where you go to get picked up for Ubers and taxis. There are shuttles that run here from the LAX terminals, and this helps take relief off the LAX horseshoe, which is already congested enough. But on this Friday, it's actually pretty smooth. And from the past construction updates, it has been. But this has also not been filmed during any holidays or during any high travel periods, where it would certainly get very busy. Parking up here is also restricted, so the line will provide great access for those who park at the economy structure or anywhere else that's accessible by metro. So again, this is the first terminal stop along the line. Coming from the LAX Metro Transit Center, this will be the first stop that has airport terminals. And again, this station is going to be serving terminals 1, 7, and 8, shown here by this diagram. Feel free to pause and take a closer look. With that, let's start making our way into the airport from the outside, heading towards the central station. For a sense of location, we're now in between the Terminal East and Central Terminal Station. You can see the guideway is just above us. From here, we can see the bridge connection that takes you from the Central Terminal Station to Terminals 2 and 6. We're currently on the side that connects Terminal 2. You can see that connection right here, and it goes pretty much into security directly. We'll get a closer look at how it connects to the terminal in just a second. But let's take a look at the structure of the bridge. Now, unfortunately, there has been zero progress since last time. You can see that there are still tiles missing at the bottom, so they're probably still on back order, and there are still supplies and tables located inside the terminal's bridge. So that means there has been no progress since last month's construction update in terms of the bridges. If anything, more tiles are missing. So I really hope there isn't a defective issue with them that's requiring a replacement that would slow down construction. In the distance, you can see a similar thing, and it looks like at the bottom, there's actually scaffolding still there at the bottom. Although this is probably to fix the tiling or take them out at the bottom of the bridge. Hopefully they're fixing it and putting more in, but there are no construction workers there at this time, so we're unable to see. Now let's go along to the next parking structure, P2. If you haven't noticed yet, they are named after the terminals they serve. So now let's take a look at the parking structure in front of the second terminal, on its uppermost level. Unfortunately, it is not open to the public here, so we have a limited field of sight, but we can still get a good look. With that, here's a look at the Terminal 2, which the bridge connects to. You'll be able to walk directly from the terminal station into the terminal, so you won't have to worry about going through this parking structure like you would have if you were going to Terminal 1. I think that is unfortunate and definitely a budget cut though. Now let's look at the actual station. As you can see, compared to the past one, they are pretty similar, and they both have a very modern, futuristic look. Additionally, we can get a look at the traffic conditions up here, and it's actually really not that bad. Traffic has been actually pretty light in general throughout this Friday afternoon. Now, here's an uninterrupted look at the station. Something I forgot to mention earlier is that the lights are functioning at this station as well as the first one. So electricity is at least working throughout these stations. But now let's go ahead and jump inside Terminal 2 and let's look at what we can see. This terminal serves Delta, and here is the entrance to the automated people mover line, also known as Skylink. It's currently boxed up right now, and we're unable to see the other side. But you can see the bridge structure that's going to connect it to where we just were at the central terminal station. You can unfortunately still see that there are panels missing inside the bridge for the same reason. Hopefully we see them added soon. It'll be a fun little thing we can do to take a look at and see if any progress has been made there. Now, once you enter the terminal, you'll be greeted with this large open area and a directionary board that you just saw. But unfortunately, it does not list the automated people mover line, or APM, as a directory on this floor. Hopefully signage is updated as we go, since on the elevators it does show the Skylink line as an option on the third floor. It's also important to note that check-in is located below us, so if you still need to check in or drop off any bags, you're likely to need to head downstairs to the second level where you can check in, just as I did. If you're going to get your bag, or if you're waiting to meet someone who just arrived, you'll have to head down one more level to the first floor where you'll be able to meet them. Anyways, let's go ahead and head to the next stop, which is going to be the Terminal West Station, which we can see just there. We'll access it once again through the top of a parking structure. This time, parking structure P3 on the top level. This one is open to the public, as you can see, and we'll get some great views of the station itself. If you turn to the left, you'll also be able to see the previous stop, which is the Terminal Central Station, followed by the Terminal East Station, which is located just beyond that. If you're ever needing to know which stop you're at, it's always worth to note that the Central Terminal Station is right next to the control tower, as you can see here. From here, we're also able to see how it connects to Terminal 3 through the bridge just ahead. It's also a fun fact to note that Terminals 2 and 3 actually act as one terminal themselves. They have the same security checkpoint, and they're both operated by the same airline, Delta. So essentially it acts as two concourses that work together to serve Delta. So that means if you're heading into LAX, you'll want to exit at the first stop you're able to, which is going to be the Terminal East station. So you can head in through Terminal 2 and not head an extra stop unnecessarily. Now let's take a look at the station itself here at the Terminal West area. This is the area closest to the International Terminal and at the end of the LAX Horseshoe. You're also able to see that there are some tiles missing here, as you'll see that as a theme throughout the rest of the video. But we can also take a quick look at the elevators. They seem to be in mostly done states, but let's look to see if there's any changes from the last construction update, which you can check out in the description down below. So there actually are some open doors here that lead to electrical panels and other elevator equipment rooms that are open, but there is nothing directly behind the fences that would suggest they're still working on the actual construction of the elevators. So this is a good sign that there's at least some progress here. But now I'm going to stop talking for a second so you can go ahead and take a closer look at the LAX Terminal West station, which also serves the Tom Bradley International Terminal. I hope it's been helpful to take a look at the station itself, but there are some unique things that we can see here, such as the lights and the circles being on. So there is also electrical supply to this station as well. It's also worth noting that the TVs that display station information and train arrival times have also been on. I haven't noticed them in today's construction update though, but it's worth noting that they have already been tested. In the distance, you can see the Tom Bradley International Terminal just on the left-hand side. To access the terminal, you can head down these elevators and cross the street, but the APM Skylink line is going to have a direct bridge connection. So you'll be able to cross into the terminal without ever touching a street or technically going outside. There is the bridge connection right there. It's in some rough shape though, but we'll get a better look at that in a second. But here is where all of the crowds are at. You can see that there are a huge amount of people waiting for rental car shuttles and for people to pick them up. You'll also see in a second that the shuttle bus stops are also loaded with people as well. So it seems like this is the terminal that's most busy today. Right here is a prime reason why LAX needs a train system like the Skylink line. LAX has been notorious for huge amounts of traffic and missed flights as a result. So this is going to make it much more stress-free and convenient to ride in for everyone, including those who are still going to drive around the Horseshoe since there's going to be less traffic. Looking up to the left, you'll actually be able to see the Terminal West station. This is a unique part of the station because it's the end of the line. If the concept art proves correct, which you can see here, hopefully they'll be able to display some cool graphics and pictures that can help create new awareness for things like the Olympics and conventions that happen here in the Los Angeles area. With that, let's go ahead inside the Tom Bradley International Terminal to take a look at how the bridge connection works with the actual terminal infrastructure. We'll also take a look to see if anything is new around the area where the APM line will drop off. So let's go ahead and cross the street here and head into the LAX terminal. And it's worth to note that crossing the street here won't be necessary anymore once these bridges open. So this is going to be great for both pedestrian and vehicular traffic. The Tom Bradley International Terminal is dedicated to Mr. Tom Bradley. He was the first black mayor in Los Angeles and also the 38th mayor that the county has had. With this terminal being one of the newest, it's also one of the largest and serves the most airlines out of all the terminals. It's a melting pot, truly, of all the international and domestic airlines. And here we are, you get dropped straight off into the check-in area. But now let's go find where you can transfer to the APM line. In order to do that, you need to head up to the 3rd floor. So there are plenty of elevators here on the left-hand side, and there are escalators behind it. So now that we've done that, we can take a look at what we can see. It's pretty much in the same state as last episode, with that white box blocking the entrance, and of course a bust of Tom Bradley himself. This area looks really well planned out actually, as it's pretty big and open right here at the entrance. So it's likely that LAX has been planning this transit line for quite a while. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the bridge that connects this area to the Skylink Terminal West station. The bridge here is probably in the roughest shape out of most of them. As you can see at the two ends of the bridge, there is no paneling and a lot of the inner workings of the bridge are exposed. But let's get a look at the other side. Maybe it'll be better. It's also worth noting that the mobility assistance area, where if you need a wheelchair for your terminal visit, you can check it out here. This is really convenient, especially for those who are using the APM Skylink line, since it's essentially right here, right off to the left of the entrance to the terminal. But unfortunately, the state of the bridge on this side is also not too good. As you can see, there are still things missing, especially on the two ends of the bridge, including tiles in the center. So hopefully we see more progress there, but this is the exact same as it was in the last construction update. Over there, you can see Terminal 5 is getting some work done on its entranceway. We won't be going over there today, since it's just the other ends of the terminal stations, which we have already seen. There are also plenty of directories here in the terminal. We're currently at the top level, which includes security and, of course, the mobility assistance area. So again, if you need to check in or if you're heading towards backclaim or arrivals, you'll need to head downstairs to do so, which is what we'll now do. So this is going to take us to the check-in area, which we just saw previously. But we're going to continue down one more level to the arrivals level. This is where you're going to find bus shuttles or pickup facilities if you're waiting on a family or your friend to come pick you up from the airport. Otherwise, you're going to have to use the LAX facility if you're riding with an Uber or taxi. You can see some of those shuttles out the window right there, which, fun fact, use ex-transit agency vehicles. For example, just a second ago, you saw an ex-Omnitrans bus. There are also ex-San Diego MTS, as well as Riverside Transit Agency buses in use. So it's fun to keep an eye out on. But down here is where you're gonna find the meeting facility if you are waiting on international arrivals. So many movies have been filmed in settings like this, and it is definitely a melting pot of emotions, as it could be the first time loved ones or family members have seen each other in possible years. But anyways, let's go ahead outside of the LAX airport now to the stations that serves the surrounding area. First, we have the LAX Metro Transit Center here. Let's look at the APM Skylink part of the station first. We can see that there is a hallway underneath it that stretches throughout the platform. This is new from the previous stations, since the previous stations in the terminal don't have a direct walkway that goes all the way beneath the platform level. In the distance, you can also see the rental car facility, where there is an additional Skylink station. This is going to be the eastern terminus of the line, meaning the trains are going to go between this rental car facility all the way to the LAX Terminal West, which we already looked at through the middle of the video. So with that, we have now covered all of the new Skylink stations with the exception of the economy parking lot, which has a similar structure to the one of the rental car facility and the same station design, just of course connected to a parking structure. This is going to give LAX's economy parking structure, which is owned by LAX, a huge edge over its competition with this new Skylink connection. Now let's briefly look at the metro part of the station. But remember, there's a full video on the construction updates thus far that upload monthly. Overall, I hope you've enjoyed today's construction update as much as I have, and hopefully it's given you an insight into what's happening with the project run by LA World Airport. With that, thank you for watching and have an awesome rest of your day or night.